Hello YouTube, Hakanero Edward is here today to make One Piece related video. This time it won't be countdown or freaking review but just my own opinion about one tiny aspect of One Piece. As we all know, our dear crew went through hellish training before they went to a new world. Luffy was trained by Raylight, Zoro by Mihawk, Sanji was almost raped by Dibanko's underlings, and others also found time to train during their activities such as studying weather forecasts, making weird machines, singing, liberating countries, etc, etc, etc. However, although we are nearing the end of 4th arc after time skip, we had really few fights and all of them were quite short. That means we don't really know how many asses can our heroes kick without breaking a sweat and how strong those asses which were kicked by them are. But of course, we fans of One Piece love to discuss, and so I am here putting my own opinion out. In this video I will focus mostly on current and the future strengths of our dear monster trio. And when I tell mostly, I mean like 99.9% of this video will be dedicated to Luffy, Zoro and Sanji. So let's talk about our captain. This may be a little over the top, but I think that at the end of this series he will be even stronger than Goldie Roger in his prime. Because, you know, he's our main hero and heroes tend to do pretty important shit, for example achieving their goals, and not to mention I can imagine him to end in similar fashion and causing even bigger and crazier pirate age. But this is too far-fetched. Let's go from future back to present. Who is the main bad guy in this arc? Don Quixote Don Flamingo. Although there are some fans on the internet who think that Luffy is not nearly on his level, I can see Big DD lose in Dressrosa on maybe next arc. Again, the reasons are pretty simple. In one interview, which came I think around Fishman Island arc, Oda stated that he just moved into second part of One Piece. And of course we can see it even geographically. Come on, they are in New World! You may be wondering why I mention this. Although I think Don Flamingo is strong, there are even stronger badasses out there and they need to be taken care of. You know, Akainu, Kizaru, Kaido, Blackbeard, Big Fucking Mom, and of course other bad guys can appear. Also One Piece storyline needs to move on. Side story with Joker, aka Doflamingo, was here for some time. Actually I think it began in Jaya, which was hundreds of chapters and episodes back. So of course this side story needs to end or it needs a giant twist. And how is this going to end? You know, with Luffy beating Don Flamingo, how else? Oh, I just explained why in my opinion Luffy is pretty much on par with our sly Joker. But there is much more to cover. For example, how big should his bounty be after Dressrosa? I have one clue for this, and that is Don Chinchao. When he was in his prime, his bounty was over 500 million. Luffy destroyed him with one punch. Of course, Don Chinchao is old, but that's still awesome. And when we consider how much of a threat Luffy is right now on Dressrosa, I think that a bounty over 500 million is just given. But let's leave the stupid bounty alone and focus again on strength. Can Luffy in his current state put up a fight against top tier motherfuckers like Admiral or Yonko? Well, I don't think he is as powerful as Admiral, and his strength is way below Yonko, way below Emperor's. But as we saw at the end of Punk Hazard, DD can free himself from Aokiji's eyes. That, in my opinion, means that Don Flamingo can put up a fight against Aokiji. Although he would be destroyed, but Don Flamingo can make him at least try. And as I said earlier, I think that Luffy is on the same level as DD. And dude who is this powerful just needs a few companions who can single-handedly beat the crap out of every normal pirate crew as morning exercise. Okay, one of them did this already. Let's talk about him. Let's talk about Zoro. Again, he showed us just a few moments which I can use. We'll focus on his fight with Monet and events which happen in chapter 730. First is Logia type user who was Bellamid by him. Okay, Monet isn't so strong, but Logia is considered to be the most powerful DF type and cutting its user in half without haki is fucking impressive. But his second feat is, in my opinion, much more interesting. It actually amazed me so much that it gave me an idea to do this video. Zoro endured an attack from Admiral. To make things clear, of course, it wasn't Fujiwara's best attack and Zoro was maybe a little tired. However, that doesn't change the fact that he can put up a fight against Admiral. Of course, it should be easy for Fujiwara to take him down, but Zoro can make him at least try. And you know how big of an improvement is this compared to what happened on Sabadoi Archipelago. And again, let's go to the future. I will cover it in just few sentences which are going to sound like something straight from Captain Obvious. Mihawk is pretty equal in strength with Shanks. Zoro is going to be stronger than Mihawk. And this will make him stronger than fucking Yonko. Stronger than Shanks. You know, nothing is more beautiful than simplicity. Last but not least, let's talk about Sanji. This is a little bit too complicated because he is kind of a losing streak, but this fact can be acceptable and I will tell you why. Usually he fights with opponents who are a little weaker than guys whose asses were sliced by Marimo. These two arcs, however, broke this rule. Battles I am going to talk about are Sanji vs Vergo and Sanji vs Doflamingo. First, Vergo should be way stronger than freaking Harp. Come on, in the past he was able to destroy Trafalgar Law. That's pretty big feat, especially if we consider that the law was strong even before time skip. Of course I'm comparing him to pirates on the first half of Grand Line and not those beasts in a new world. So, in other words, Vergo is monet times 10. And what about DD? Well, he is reserved for Luffy and it would be really disappointing, at least for me, to see Sanji giving him a difficult fight. Sanji had little to no knowledge of Joker's abilities. And of course, Doflamingo acknowledged his strength. He said, "The strong one has finally appeared." That's in Sanji's favor. So yes, I consider our future lung cancer patient to be still strong. Maybe it looks like he is way below Zoro or Luffy, but I personally don't think so. If you still don't agree with me, just think about this. Sanji wants to counter-attack ship of Big Mom. That needs some serious balls. But what waits for Sanji in future when you don't count lung diseases? It's harder to tell how strong he will be at the end because his dream isn't to have strongest legs in the world. However, he will probably have this because we just need all of Monster Trio members to be insanely strong. So based on this, I think he will be on Yonko level, maybe a little bit weaker. To be honest, I can't tell much more about Sanji. If you have your own ideas about this topic, write them down in comments. If you like this video, like it. If you want to hear and see everything which crosses my mind, feel free to subscribe. This is Hagan and Edward. Goodbye YouTube, see you next time.